Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. We've got a very important video. If you've seen the title, you've seen the thumbnail, we've got to Sherlock Holmes this. Because it's all about this, and it's all about who this question mark really is. First of all, massive shout out to Adam for giving me inspiration to do this video. And also what we're going to be doing is deep diving the fact all around this question mark, as I said, but also going a little bit further as to pinpoint who this is. Because, funny enough, it isn't actually Nova. Nova, as we know, has recently been added to the game or will be coming into the game. But there is one key thing to point out. Nova used to be a Herald of Galactus. But the Heralds list also includes Silver Surfer, as we know, Morg, who is a pretty powerful character in the Marvel Universe, a ferocious and merciless character called Stardust. But here's the twist in the tale, and in fact, this type of Nova, that is a Herald of Galactus, is actually a completely different character altogether. It's just coincidence they share the same name. The Herald of Galactus is actually a she and actually has similar powers to Johnny Storm. The more you know. Now at this point you're probably going, Rich, you've just taken a massive L because what you've just done is got confused the wrong type of Nova. Well, this is going to be important further on in this video, so do stay tuned how I redeem myself. As we all know, the Heralds of Galactus play a huge part when it comes to Galactus eating of worlds and also summoning Galactus to said planets for him to eat, if you get my drift. But also, this is going to be very important as well, especially if you've seen that question mark and look very closely at what this picture or this icon actually is. Now, whatever story Kabam want to put together, heralds must be very important, or this one herald could be more important than others, but we need to learn a little bit more about them. So there are many other Heralds of Galactus, like Firelord, like Redshift, but this herald is probably the most important, and that is Airwalker. And also a possible twist in the future with this whole story arc that this could be associated with. So who is this Airwalker and why is he so important? Well, Gabriel Lan, who the character's real name is an extraterrestrial from the planet Xandar, obviously important for that Nova tie-in, and he was the captain of the explorer ship Weilders. The ship's mission was to seek out alien civilizations and attempt to establish peaceful relations with. Lan had previously distinguished himself in Xandar's military, the Nova Corps, and welcomed his appointment to an explorer ship since he was filled with wanderlust and love of open space. Returning from his 7-year tour of duty, Lan was nearing his home solar system when an unidentified craft appeared and transported him from the bridge of the Way Opener to the craft of Galactus. Galactus was looking for a new herald to replace the rebellious Silver Surfer, and after scanning Lan's mind, deemed him an appropriate candidate. Hearing Galactus' offer of a vast power, unlimited travel, Lan readily accepted and was transformed by a tiny fraction of Galactus' might into the Airwalker, the second herald. So that's all well and good. We've established that it's a herald. Yes, that's a tie-in to the title. But where do we get the further tie-in? What's the deal with the hammer? The Mjolnir hammer. And obviously this is very important for this video to kind of look at whether or not logically this question mark can be filled by this Xandarian character. But to bring it back to a tie-in side of things, an idea behind having a Xandar or maybe Nova Corps type synergy grouping with a character that could be the future addition would have been a good tie-in, which Nova actually doesn't have any tie-ins to any question marks, which then means that the link for me, and maybe for a few other people, goes a little bit dead when pointing out Airwalker linking to Silver Surfer, linking to Nova. Now, something just quickly to point out is that it doesn't have to be Airwalker that could be the one that lifts Mjolnir. There are other types of characters out there, like Beta Ray Bill, Conan the Barbarian, Thunderstrike, Awesome Andy, Magneto, and so many more. But the biggest problem, as you can see, is they are not Heralds of Galactus. They never have been. There could be some sort of mild nods and maybe some kind of red herring that Kabam may put in for this. But let's face it, those are not comic book notable characters that have been Heralds of Galactus. This then means that the trail runs cold with who this question mark could be. Or does it? In late 2019 we learnt we were going to get a new version of Thor, kind of following on from the unworthy Thor of before, and as well with Odin going into retirement, there needs to be a new king on the throne. But Now tapping into the power cosmic bestowed upon him by Galactus, he is now turned into the Herald of Thunder. This is actually going to be a very interesting story arc, and maybe it will be a comic book or graphic novel I'll look to pick up in the future. But it does now pinpoint to a lot of things that could be going on in game, so that could be what the question mark could be associated with. So for me, this has either got to be this Herald of Thunder version of Thor that could be coming into the game, Airwalker who has wielded Mjolnir in the past, or Kabam maybe putting in a red herring. And my favourite or good idea for a red herring could be Beta Ray Bill. Or we could see an unworthy version of Thor, but I don't think that really ties in. That's just a personal want from myself, because I like that version of Thor, because he was very much a case of very insecure, and at the same time he's had that arm taken away from him where he kind of felt very kind of comfortable, and it kind of adds a new dynamic to that character. Either way, what do you think? So yeah, what do you think? Do you think it could be a different version of Thor we could potentially be seeing in the future? Could this also be Airwalker, who has been a herald in the past and is a little bit obscure? Obviously based on something Kabam did say last year, we might see more obscure champions in the game. Also, this could be a red herring. Do you think that this could be something a little bit obscure, a bit like Beta Ray Bill, or something completely different? Put in the comment section down below. Now for me personally, I hope that it is indeed a new version of Thor. But my kind of, well, reservations is that I believe it will be this newer version, this King Thor, this Herald of Thunder version of Thor. And hopefully it will mean that we'll have the finally God tier version of Thor entered into the game. Now there may be some that kind of go, they want the Stormbreaker version of Thor. But it's very difficult as well. Like, I would kind of go, like, personally as well. Again, I'd love to see the unworthy version of Thor with the Destroyer arm and as well wielding Yamborn instead of Stormbreaker. But that's just my own personal take. And as I said, get involved in the comment section about what you would like to see in game. The kind of the Airwalker version going into game wouldn't really be good for me personally. And like, I know that some people may kind of feel differently based on the fact that he only catches, so Airwalker only catches Mjolnir in his hands, so that kind of like proves something of a kind of a point going, okay, well it's a nod to comic books that Mjolnir is there for the point of he caught it, but for the purpose of kind of like wielding it and kind of like being a herald, I'm not sure if it would work too much for me. But that's my own takeaway. Herald of Thunder version is probably going to be the version. Like I said, get involved with the comment section down below. And that has been the video. Go and check out some of the links from the stuff that I've referenced in the description down below. Thanks as well to Adam for sending through the information you did, and also it was exciting to kind of explore this video. Hopefully you enjoyed it. If you did, please consider hitting the like button, subscribing for more Marvel Contest of Champions and some comic book history based videos. Jack up some content here and subscribe here, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye for now.